Are you tired of being told what to think? Are you frustrated with the same old news stories that never seem to change? Then it's time to tune into Truth Has No Agenda, the podcast that cuts through the noise and gets to the heart of the matter. Each episode, we dive deep into the issues that matter most with expert guests who offer insights you won't hear anywhere else. From politics to social justice, technology to the environment, we tackle the tough topics that are shaping our world. So if you're ready for some real talk, join us on Truth Has No Agenda, the podcast that's not afraid to speak the truth.
Yeah, once again, welcome to Third Eye Vision. I'm live and direct to you out on our Wednesdays, trying something new, something more energetic for the people. Definitely want to give a shout out to everybody that come out and support the show every day, all day, the new followers that we have. Thank you for supporting the show. Word of mouth is the best, is the best marketing strategy out here these days. And today we come in with some real stuff, media manipulation, things that's going on today in the world where the media is manipulating your mind, people. The first thing is we have to look at the word media and multi-ethnic destruction in America. All right, multi-ethnic destruction in America. For those that don't know, now you know. TVs basically have controlling the way you're thinking, the way your kids are thinking, the way your grandkids are thinking, shit, even the way your dog probably thinking. Who knows? But what you watch on TV plays a part in your everyday life. Somebody on TV with a nice pair of shoes, you want to go out and buy them shoes. All right? Yeah, you probably wouldn't know about them if they didn't market them, but the way they market them, you have to have this, you have to have that. Okay, majority says you have to have this, you have to have that. In reality, the media is a big ass marketing tool. Okay? Now, from the wars in the world to the clothes in the store, the media controls what goes on in your livelihood, to the way you treat your husband, to the way you treat your wife, to the way you treat your kids, to the way kind of car you're going to get, to how you're going to decorate your house, to what type of TV you're going to have on your wall, to what type of computer you're going to get, what kind of phone you're going to get, an iPhone or a Galaxy. All that, the media plays a part in controlling your way of thinking. The reviews. Okay, I want to see which one's the better phone. I'm going to go review CNN, CNBC, CNET or whatever. I'm going to go give me a review. The review is going to play a part in the way you're going to think. Instead of you sitting at your home and saying to yourself, listen, I'm going to try the iPhone. Shit. If it don't work, I'm going to sell that shit and get me a Galaxy. You don't do that. You got, okay, let me go listen to Bobby and Janie and Ching Tong Ping and all them other people. All right, now listen to Jake, your man Jack who lived next door, probably had the iPhone. He told you that shit is whack. But you listen to Jack. But you go listen to Ming Jung Kwa and all them on the little technological people and all that who tell you which phone is the better gadget. You're listening to him and you're taking his word. You don't know this dude from a whole new world. At least the dude next door you probably know. Okay, if you got style, they don't got style. The girl next door, if she has style, she don't have style. Okay, so you know that you can tell if she's tech savvy or whatever. So if they tell you, yo, this is not good, I'm going to take their advice on that. All right, from people. TV, smart TV. How the hell you want a TV that's that smart? I don't want a TV that's smarter than me. Okay? Like, reality, but they tell you that is what you need. That is part of society. That's what goes on. That's what you need to have. Alright? Some dudes feel I need to have Jordans. I need to have the new LeBron. Some people feel like I got 50,000 going on 100,000 this year. I don't give a shit about the sneakers in the store unless they're gonna bring me some capital. Okay? Two different type of people in the world. You have the winners and you have the losers. And best believe the winners are not being manipulated by the media or being manipulated by anybody. The losers are losing because they're being manipulated. From their churches to up to their job, they're manipulated some sort of way. That goes back to the aspect of cowards, which I tell you about a coward heart person. Okay, a coward heart person is always going to have their head down. They have no strength. They don't even know where to find the strength. Okay, because he was a coward. Pops probably was a coward too. All right, I'm not trying to be funny or whatever, but that's the way it is embedded in your genes. Like me, I was raised tough from a kid because my pops was tough. alright? My pop, yo, listen, this is how you need to live your life. They say go around beating people up. No, but you defend yourself if somebody steps into your arm's distance. You defend yourself, and you beat the shit out of them when you do it. Simple. Not telling you to do it. It's just the way that you're taught. The same way we're mammals, it's animals and mammals. We're trained. Animals are trained. Okay? Kids are trained to sit in front of their TV and watch BET all day. Why? Because mommy probably sits there watching BET all day. He's watching soap operas. Why? Because mommy probably watches soap operas all day. Not all mommies, but some mommies. Shit, daddy might be even watching soap operas these days. Okay? So what they see is what they grow into. Okay, so if a kid goes in a house full of violence, he's going to grow into violence because violence is all he knows. And then if he sees it on TV, all that do is just add the sprinkles onto the ice cream. Because now he's living in that environment, and he's seeing on TV that they're publicizing every other show, violence, guns, killing, murder. Okay? Oh, hey. Until he gets locked up and realize, okay, this is not the way. Some change, some don't. It's a choice that you have to make to yourself. Okay, are you going to keep letting these pagans control the way you're thinking? Are you going to let these people control the way your mind functions? Are you going to let people put poison in you, and you're going to continue to put poison in your body, saying, what can I do? What can I do? Stupid! What can you do is stop eating the food. That's the first place you can start. Or stop doing things that's killing you. Okay, if you give me a bottle of cyanide and say, yo, if you drink that bottle of cyanide, you're going to die. I'm not even going to think about that shit again. I'm throwing that shit away so nobody can take it. Okay, but the way people are programmed these days, okay, the vice president, let's use him because we never see that motherfucker anyway. The vice president says, okay, everybody take this pill is going to make you strong. People gonna line up just because the vice president said it. So the first 60 people could die. People still gonna line up. All right, that's how stupid people are today. If my bad, zombified people out here, media control people, Disney watching channel, Viacom ass people out here. Yeah, you. Okay, perfect example. Today I was in the supermarket, right? Now there's like 3 lines open. It's early in the morning. It's like 3 lines open. But this is how programmed people are. The other 2 lines are clear. See, me, I'm outside the box. I'm looking for the open line of the drip. All right, people are lined up, like 10 people are in one line in the far left of the store. Too lazy to go and look at the other line and see that the other line is open. Just so programmed and not wanting their brain to function that they see people online, so they jump online assuming that that's the only line. Why? Because that's the program. People are programmed to follow. TV plays a part in that. People are too dependent. TV plays a part in that. How about the unemployment, extend unemployment benefits? What the do you need unemployment benefits extended for? Yo, listen, you lost your job, you had unemployment for a year, you need to find another fucking job, okay? That's it. But we're not giving you unemployment after another year. We're going to give you money because you don't want to go find a job. Then you got 85% of America on welfare, like depending on fucking food stamps and this shit. Okay, excuse me, people, but it makes me mad. Why? Because they're programmed. Because nobody wants to work. Stay home, play fucking video games all day, or go on Instagram and take naked pictures in your bathroom all day, and we're gonna give you a check to do it. And that's that. Okay, people. And think I'm bullshitting because in 98 shows I ain't bullshit yet. Okay? Real talk. Now, for the dumb people, okay? Media manipulation for dummies. For dummies. Media manipulation is a series of related techniques in which partisans create an image or argument that favors their particular interests. Such tactics may include the use of logical fallacies, and propaganda techniques, and often involve suppression of information or points of views by crowding them out, by inducing other people or groups of people to stop listening to certain arguments, or by simply diverting attention elsewhere. In propaganda, the formation of men's attitudes, Jacques Ellul writes that public opinion can only express itself through channels which are provided by the mass media of communication, without which there could be no propaganda. propaganda. It is used with public relations, propaganda, marketing, etc. While the objective for each content is quite different, the broad techniques are often similar. As illustrated below, many of the more modern mass media manipulation methods are types of distraction or the assumptions that the public has a limited attention span. Now, activists such as myself and activists such as my fellow peers, this activism tends to be created by smaller movements or individuals such as ourselves that consist of efforts to enact, impede, or direct social changes. Activism can take a wide range of forms, from writing letters to newspapers or politicians, political campaigns, economic activism such as boycotts, or preferentially patronizing businesses, rallies, street marches, strikes, sit-ins. Activists try to persuade people to change their behavior directly rather than to persuade governments to change or not to change the law. The cooperation movement seeks to build new institutions which conform to cooperative principles and generally does not lobby or protest politically, and clergymen often exert their parishioners to follow a particular moral code or system. Now, advertising. Commercial advertising tends to be created by companies to encourage consumption of their products or services. Now, non-commercial advertisers who spend money to advertise items other than a consumer product or service include political parties, interest groups, religious organizations, and governmental agencies. This is a form of communication used to encourage or persuade an audience to continue to take some new action. Most commonly, the desired result is to drive consumers' behavior with respect to a commercial offering. Although political and ideological is my bad, people. My tongue-tied. Advertising is also common. Advertising messages are usually paid for by sponsors and viewed as via various traditional media, including mass media such as newspaper, magazines, television commercials, radio advertisement, outdoor advertising, or direct mail, or new media such as blogs, websites, or text messaging. Now, hoaxes. Hoaxes are a form of practical joke that typically uses the techniques of media manipulation to encourage people to believe in some outlandish lie or object. It differs from most other media manipulation contexts in that there is rarely any attempt to influence behavior. Liars. Though occasionally a hoax may form part of a fraud or a hoax item may be prompted as a commercial attraction, some hoax are not a context, but a media manipulation technique described deceptive materials created for some other context. Okay, the Iraq dossier is an example of propaganda used to promote the idea of going to war. Okay, now first off, I want to stop and I want to give a shout out to my brother Kawazi, who passed away a year ago yesterday. Definitely shout outs to him, you know what I'm saying? Peace and blessings to the family and everybody before I proceed on. Also, you know, people, you guys, it's time to wake up, alright? It's time to open your mind. Really, when I play that open your mind drop, it's time for you to open that mind. Now, propaganda, alright, is a form of communication that's aimed at influence the attitude of a community towards some cause or position by presenting only one side of an argument. Propaganda is commonly created by governments, with some form of mass communication created by other powerful organizations can be considered propaganda as well. As opposed to impartially provided information, propaganda in its most basic sense presents information primarily to influence an audience. Propaganda is usually repeated and dispersed over a wide variety of media in order to create the chosen result and audience attitudes. While the term propaganda has justifiably acquired a strong negative connotation by association with its most manipulative and examples like Nazi propaganda used to justify the Holocaust, propaganda in its original sense was neutral and could refer to uses that were generally benign, alright, such as a public health recommendation, signs encouraging citizens to participate in a census or election, messages encouraging people to report crimes to the police, among others. Okay? Now, psychological warfare. Now, psychological warfare is sometimes considered synonymous with propaganda. The principal distinction between that propaganda normally occurs within a nation, whereas psychological warfare normally takes place between nations, often during war or Cold War. Various techniques are used to influence targets, values, beliefs, emotions, motives, reasons, or behaviors. Target audiences can be governments, organizations, groups, and individuals. Okay, people? Now, we have 10 media manipulation strategies, and hopefully we get through them in 6 minutes. Now, the first strategy is the strategy of distraction. The primary element of social control is the strategy of distraction, which is to divert public attention from important issues and changes determined by the political and economic elites by the technique of flooding continuous distractions and insignificant information. Distraction strategy is also essential to prevent the public interest in an essential knowledge in the area of science, economics, psychology, neurobiology, and cybernetics. Now, maintaining public attention diverted away from the real social problems, captivated by matters of no real importance, keep the public busy. No time to think. Back to farm and other animals. That's the quote from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. You need to get that book. Now, 2. Create problems, then offer solutions. This method is also called problem, reaction, solution. It creates a problem, a situation referred to, cause some reaction in the audience. So this is the principle of the steps that you want to accept. For example, let it unfold and intensify urban violence or arrange for bloody attacks in order that the public is the applicant's security laws and policies to the detriment of freedom, or create an economic crisis to accept as a necessary evil retreat or social rights and the dismantling of public services. Now, you have 3, which is the gradual strategy. Acceptance to an unacceptable degree, just apply it gradually, drop her for consecutive years. That is how they radically new socio-economic conditions, neoliberalism, were imposed during the 1980s and 90s. The minimal state, privatization, precariousness, flexibility, massive unemployment, wages do not guarantee a decent income. So many changes that have brought about a revolution if they had been applied once. The strategy of deferring. Another way to accept an unpopular decision is to present it as painful and necessary, gaining public acceptance at the time for future application. It is easier to accept that a future sacrifice of immediate slaughter. First, because the effort is not used immediately. Then, because the public masses has always a tendency to expect naively that everything will be better tomorrow and that the sacrifice required may be avoided. This gives the public more time to get used to the idea of change and accept it with resignation when the time comes. 5. Go to public as a little child. Go to the public as a little child. Most of the advertising to the general public uses speech, argument, people, and particularly children, annotations, often close to the weakness, as if the viewer were a little child or mentally deficient. The harder one tries to see the viewer look, the more it tends to adapt a tone, infantilizing. Why? If one goes to a person as if she had the age of 12 or less, then because of suggestion, she tends with a certain probability that a response reaction also devoids of a critical sense as a person of 12 years or younger. Also from the book Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Use the emotional side more than the reflection. Make use of emotional aspects as a classic technique for causing a short circuit or rational analysis. And finally, to the critical sense of individual. Furthermore, the use of emotional register to open the door to the unconscious for implantation or graphing ideas, desires, fears, anxieties, compulsions, and induced behaviors. To keep the public in ignorance and mediocrity, making the public incapable of understanding the technologies and methods used to control and enslavement. The quality of education given to the lower social classes must be the poor and mediocre as possible, so that the gap of ignorance it plans among the lower classes and upper classes is and remains possible to attain for the lower classes. To encourage the public to be complacent with mediocrity, promote the public to believe that the fact is fashionable to be stupid, vulgar, and uneducated. 9. Self-blame strengthened. To let individuals blame for their misfortune because of the failure of their intelligence, their abilities, or their efforts. So instead of rebelling against the economic system, the individual auto-devaluate and guilt himself, which creates a depression, one of whose effects is to inhabit its actions. And without action, there is no revolution. 10. Getting to know the individuals better than they know themselves. Over the past 50 years, advances of accelerated science have generated a growing gap between public knowledge and those owned and operated by dominant elites. Thanks to biology, neurobiology, and applied psychology, the system has enjoyed a sophisticated understanding of human beings both physically and psychologically. The system has gotten better at the common man more than he knows himself. This means that in most cases, The system exerts greater control and great power over individuals greater than of individuals about themselves. Alright, people. So once again, I'd like to say thank you for the support. Thank you for coming out once again and supporting ThirdEyeVision.com. I like to say, we are the past, we are the present, we are the future. Truth has no agenda. Stand for something or die for nothing.
The ballot, or it'll be the vote. It'll be liberty, or it'll be death. And if you're not ready to pay that price, don't use the word freedom in your vocabulary. We want to have just an off-the-cuff chat between you and me. We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. America's problem is us. We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. And every time you look at yourself, be you black, brown, red, or yellow, a so-called Negro, you represent a person who poses such a serious problem for America because you're not on it.
To define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. What is a phenomenon? Social phenomenon. What is a social phenomenon? Black people, Mexican, any kind of people begin to learn that the social phenomenon is